like the Indiana Jones girlfriend.
Why can't I be Indiana Jones myself? Why do I have to be the girlfriend?
Because I'm Indiana Jones.
Okay, you can be Indiana Jones.
I was very sick on day 3. But I rejoined everyone on day 4. And we went to the museum and we flew to Luxor. And here we are in the museum. Usual fucking place.
How big it is.
So this is the one, I wanted to film this. So this vase is amazing. But John Anthony West pointed out this exact vase. Obviously this has been in the museum for some time.
We find, for example, little stone bowls carved from some of the hardest stones known, porphyries and granites and green schists and diorites, that are beautifully designed with narrow necks and hollowed in the center. Now, we could not, with our machine tools, produce these stone bowls, and yet they date from earliest Egypt, first Dynasty, pre-dynastic Egypt even. The other finds from these periods show relatively simple pottery, fish hooks, combs, artifacts of that sort. These are some of these remarkable stone vases. Some of the most spectacular are actually elsewhere in the Petrie Museum in London, and if you're at the Louvre, take a look, see what they have there. But you see what's involved here. I mean, this is perhaps the most remarkable. This one and this one. That's a porphyry, which is a impenetrable stone. You know, I mean, this is something else again, because it's hollow on the inside, and the thickness of the lip is pretty much the thickness of the wall. These things are perfectly formed. Nobody knows how to do it. We don't know how to do it today. And the point is that this is the interesting bit, these come out of either earliest dynasty Egyptian finds or pre-dynastic finds. In those Neolithic settlements, that's what you found, was very crude pottery and little fish hooks and combs and stuff like that. And then suddenly these things. So it was Paul Roberts, my friend Paul Roberts, who suggested, hey, maybe these are heirlooms from that earlier period, because it doesn't figure that if the rest of the stuff that you're doing are crude little pots, suddenly there's this thing involving a technology, and I mean perfectly geometric. I'm sure if you did a geometric study of these, you'd find golden section ratios and all sorts of stuff like that. I mean, these are complex shapes.
But what you got to look at this vase and go is like, look at the neck. It's very narrow. So you have to, hollowing out the inside of this and getting it very, consistent and clean. Your tool has to go in here and run around that edge. Like, it's got to go, it's all done through the neck, Like these narrow necks on these things, and you can see the beautiful hards, probably like diorite gneiss or something. Porphyry maybe, I don't know, with these big white, like crystal inclusions in it. These beautiful handles. Like, this is astonishing work in this sort of stone. And there's that clip of John Anthony West that was on my Discord that I totally meant to put in that last video, but I forgot because I was in Egypt. But it will be used in a future video for sure. Where he's talking about how these things are so remarkable, how they represent, significant technology, and how he hopes at some point in the future people will use modern technology to analyze them and learn more about their constructions, which is exactly what, is happening.
Can you imagine that just behind the corner?
On the torch?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's a nice little shot of it there. Look at that thing. Pretty. Yeah, I love this because I had this clip with John Anthony West talking about
Move some of the stuff from the boxes, like
From the boxes?
Yeah, compared to the last time you were here.
There's one missing. Yeah, there's one vase that I really love. That's usually in this. Sometimes
We
they move around.
found
It
it.
might be upstairs, but
It's
there's
hidden
one vase that
on
has
like in a dusty
It's
aisle.
like just sitting on like a tip of an egg. We've got one in our collection too, but it's utterly remarkable.
So this one is similar to the ones that were analyzed.
Yeah,
Yeah, that looks very similar.
yeah, similar form. These are all pre-dynastic usually.
Pottery.
Before the first pharaoh of the first dynasty.
That's calcite. Well, it's alabaster pottery. Alabaster pottery.
So
Okay.
before like 3200
You
BC.
can definitely measure the dust in there, that's right. Yeah, some thick dust. There's a nice big one over here on the left. Yeah,
that's
it's
a
just
nice
all
one.
mixed in with this pottery
There's a lot
and
of
shit.
big ones
It's
in
just all came from the same tomb, therefore, right? Must be the same people. It's a nice one, actually. Nice big one. There's a couple like this in the English museum. There's tons of these of this size in the museum here. It's very cool. This is also really cool over here. Like these flint blades are really cool. Just cool factor, you know. And I mean, I've got this footage before too. I just like to look at the shiny surface and the carved glyphs relative to the shiny surface that you see. I mean, it's handwork, but it's still nice. But you can see the whole surface was originally polished, and everything's so dusty in here. Flint heaven, yeah. Kyle gets real excited about the flint knives. It's a new exhibit they've got going on in here. Some fucking paintings and whatever. I don't know. I don't get so excited about those. Got some big ass pieces in this museum, man. Big ass pieces. Oh yeah, so this is here it is here. So this is the vase that for some reason they took it out of the main display cabinet, and now you're not supposed to be up here. This is like in one of the alcoves up off the roof, and you can see how dusty it is. This is not like a regular area like they yell at you if they catch you up here, but this was the vase that they normally have on display in that cabinet. In the last couple of years it's been tucked back here. But this is the one that stands on like a tip of an egg. You can't really see it very well here with the dust, unfortunately. But I mean, I have footage of it, but it's actually quite large. It's much larger than the one that we have in our scan video, but it does the same sort of thing. I'd love to get that one scanned. Like, that'd be incredible. Like, this is sort of thing super impressive too, just the shaping. I mean, it's alabaster, but it's still mighty impressive. I don't know why this stuff's hidden away. I mean, you could go into the basement. Like, this bowl is also that same stone as that narrow-necked vase. You know, I think the storerooms in this museum are probably just filled to the rafters with stuff like that. Just an ashtray, yeah. So yeah, if you go in here, this is in the main gallery. If you go up to the end and you turn left, you can get into this little area if ever you're there, and just sneak along here. And there's usually so many people that you won't get bothered, but there's all sorts of interesting shit. Same as on this side. You can see on this little elevated walkway here, this is where they're moving stuff around, and if they see you in there, they'll probably chase you out, but it's fine.
Some of these are pretty obvious.
Late 2023, early 24. Yeah, they've been saying shit like that for
some of the hard stone ones. You little hard
since
stone
2020.
like
I mean,
this,
I'll
but
believe it
there's
when I
two
see
joined
it.
together like
Look,
this.
let's
There's
hope.
actually
I hope it's
tiny
open.
little
If it's
versions
open,
of that
we'll
like this.
100% we'll go.
They've taken it and they've gone
So-
and they've replicated it with clay.
Pottery, yeah.
I mean, if it's not...
Good old Johnny Terracotta.
Yeah, this is all just pottery. I wanted to film some of the pottery too. Of course, the the old alabaster works that is like, scan one of the handmade ones. I don't need to scan it to tell you it's not exactly round. Handmade statue, work in granite. The result of hand tools on granite. It's time. Yeah, it's about time.
We have another one here with bitter.
Good evening. Good evening.
Which means the one that carry the royal seal. So it's some high official.
You can see the chisel marks on the
Yeah.
on the old carvings.
سجاود خدمة سن الوعد. So this is from the fourth dynasty. If the fourth dynasty inscribes their boxes beautifully like that, why is the box inside the pyramid of the king?
Yeah, if this is fourth dynasty, how come the one from the box of the king and it's much smaller than this too, by the way. The box for the king, how come it's got no inscriptions on it? This is fourth dynasty, supposedly. I mean, it's definitely fourth dynasty carvings, 100%. Who knows about the box? Yes, of course, we do like to show people the old unfinished box. Lots of interesting things about that. I've never really talked much about this.
No, you go ahead and explain it. It's fine.
Can't see much. I think I got my light out, my flashlight out.
The lid was being taken from the bottom of it until it was going to be
Just make sure you use your knees.
used magnetism because once you cut the stem of the stone, you also split the charge. Was it not functional anymore because they couldn't use the same?
So there's what's interesting to me is that there is like this Dremel tool, like
Was that how it worked?
like they ran a. See this here? They ran a. I don't know. The light's really poor,
Usually, if you
so
finish
but you can see it there. Like they definitely like did a tube drill, and this I think this is also reflects how they made the big temples and boxes and blocks appear to go around the corners. I think they drill down these corners, and then they flatten the walls out to the edges of the curve. And in this case, they weren't quite done flattening out the curves, like taking the edges all the way out to the edges of that radius of that tube drill.
this amount,
As you can see it, there's actually when you run your hand in there, you can feel it too. Like there's definitely a curve,
you wouldn't want to waste
a very consistent curve that runs all the way down.
all the effort that you spent on the box.
See it there actually. You can kind of see it,
What you're gonna do is remove the
and you can see it along here too.
rest of this and then make a.
They just didn't finish. Whatever happened at the back when it broke, they're like, well, fuck it, we're
Look
done.
here. Also, as you can see, there is like a Dremel tool mark on the corners. It's still unfinished. It was also in the
See it
process of being
feel it in here.
finished.
Feel that. Feel that.
This is similar to the finishing that was happening in the corners of the temple.
Yeah. So they hadn't finished cutting the walls down to the edge of the.
Huh?
I said they hadn't finished flattening the walls
exactly.
walls
It
down.
was
Yeah.
still unfinished in the inside.
Flashlights.
And we can see the striation.
I'd probably recommend get one from where you are. I don't know where they would sell them. They're just going to be probably junk if they do. I tend to take I take like a little LED panel, but I actually take this thing, which is super bright. It's a mountain bike headlamp. So it's a cat's eye mountain biking headlight basically. Really bright and really good for like bigger areas like Grand Gallery, but it's no good for filming because it just is too bright. So I also take like a little LED, like just one of these, and it's just I don't even know if this is charged. Is it charged? Yeah, there we go. So it's just like a nice soft light, and you can actually turn this one up and down, and you can change the temperature of it, stuff like that. Yeah, so it's like temperature, and then the brightness is all adjustable on the back on this little LED panel. So good for filming, this one, but then so I just bring both of those. So one's like good for big areas, and then that's good for like filming objects, and if I need a light if I'm going to sit there and film myself for some stupid reason, which I don't think I'll ever do, I can use that too. So yeah, you can see it here. So here, there you go. That's the curve, and you actually see it running down both sides of the bottom as well. So they just weren't finished flattening the walls out. Like here. It's just part of the cuts on the back, I'm thinking. You can see the lines. This is another block with saw marks on it. This is. I think we got some photos in here. Yeah, so this is inside a giant big vase. It's actually not very clean. You actually see in the bottom where see there was smaller tube drills that we used. So you actually see the radius of one here, one here, one here. So there was actually smaller tube drills that we used to hollow this out, and then some other tool was used to kind of like space this out, I guess. But this thing's like, waist height. This is like a big vase. But it doesn't look particularly precise down the bottom here. It's got all cracks and marks. I don't know what the fuck this is. I don't think these are turning marks or anything. These are just damage and things over time. It normally has a little cover on the top that we lifted off because people just treat them like trash bins and they put their smokes out in them back when they used to smoke in the museum. So, but yeah, you can definitely see how there were other tube drills used in this to like hollow it out. Then the very impressive Kufrain Throne. Super, super impressive diorite statue. In fact, it was nice, we kind of got this to ourselves. So even this, I just like to look at these glyphs on the side. And this is how it gets attributed to Kufray. But, you know, pretty clearly, look at this, the ball on the end of this thing. You see that? You see the chisel marks, right? And you can see saw marks and polish marks on the actual stone. But you see how these chisels have been hammered into this thing. Who knows when. Nicely done, sure, but still handmade. As opposed to... So this is in between the feet, and you actually can see overcuts. Like this is an overcut here on his foot, on the inside of the foot. Here it is there on the side here as well. See this? And then you obviously have a tube drill mark between the feet. I think there's another one here. I didn't quite get the light right on it. But yeah, you can see it there again. This is the the statue of Khufu. It's about this tall. This is the famous Khufu statue that apparently because of this we associate him with the Great Pyramid. There you go. That's him there. It was found in the Valley Temple. So somehow they go, well, therefore the Valley Temple also being attached to the Middle Pyramid, but apparently because they found this, he built the Great Pyramid. I guess it makes sense. Part of an old kingdom. This is probably Saqqara. Palm-shaped pillar from granite. One of my favourite Hyksos sphinxes with the 4 or 5 different pharaohs' names on it. Like, whose pharaoh is this? I mean, I've obviously got tons of footage of this thing. I just like to show people that stuff. Ramses II is here as well. This is Akhenaten. So actual alabaster canopic jars with lovely lids. You know, well-made alabaster canopic jars from the New Kingdom. Funnily enough, they could make lids for them. You know, and we got up to some vases. I think we finally took some people up to see the vases. A lot of the vases have been moved out. Dishes, vases, bowls. This is the lapis tube. They'd moved this thing around a bit too. It looks like it's deteriorated or something's happened to it. I don't know. Maybe it was always like this. But you see what's next to, right? Just this. Look at this primitive shit. These beads and little bits and pieces of bone ornaments and stuff. It's real interesting, like a blank or a round. You know? Like this is like a round, just hadn't been hollowed out, which is I found to be interesting. Like, did they not... I thought they might have hollowed them out first, or maybe not. I don't know. This was like a piece that was obviously hadn't been hollowed out yet. And who knows what these are? Are these actually Are these replicas? Are they done later? Or is this done sooner? I really don't know. You get these in different phases of work. I mean, this looks pretty rough. Some of this stuff. This isn't tube drilling. Like this is grinding out and hammering out with with hammers and chisels. This isn't a tube drill. You can just see it. Like it's not a tube drill mark. But the ones that we do see show a lot of tube drill marks. So yeah, this is more alabaster work. What's that bling? Chode Lint. Chode Lint. That's a great name, bro. Thanks for the follow. Some alabaster along with some hardstone stuff. Potentially replicas of the hardstone stuff. I don't know. I thought this is cool stuff, though. Just I like taking pictures of it. So here's some handmade. This is 100% handmade. So this is the difference, right? This stuff is handmade. This is like made with primitive techniques, in pretty hard stone. Imitation. Then this isn't. Like, this is the other thing. This is the Corundum one with all the Corundum in it. This thing, they've turned it around. I think since I did that video where I pointed it out, so they've turned it so you can barely see the chip that's missing. They've definitely rotated this thing, or you can't really see the bit that's missing, which I always thought was pretty funny. More alabaster. More alabaster. This is really cool. Like, impressive alabaster. The fuck it is, I don't know, but you know, again, handmade. The difference. Handmade. Less handmade. Dirt in it, just damaged. So these are all cool. Like, this is all pre-dynastic, but this is like rock crystal gourds. Like, this isn't alabaster, this is like rock crystal. And these are obsidian gourds. Like, they're quite small, delicate little things, but all pre-dynastic. Like, just very impressive next to these, you know, flint pieces and whatnot. Good luck. Little tiny suckers. I've got some footage of these before as well, but these are just tiny. You can see like the weave of the carpet in there. They're like literally thumbnail sized, these things. Yeah, this one's like a little pipe or something. I don't know. Dun, dun, dun. Ah, yes. And then we had lunch. Pretty good. Lots of chicken and kofta and lamb and God knows. Yeah. There it is. There it is. All right. Well, I think that's gonna call it. We're gonna call it for the day. Oh, I meant to get, you know, I thought we'd get through that and then I'd get onto some Chris Dunn footage work, but not so much. We got through like 2 or 3 days of it, so we'll keep going though. I'll stream again. What's today? Sunday. We'll go again on Tuesday for sure. For sure. I'm still trying to determine whether or not I'm going to do this Rumble thing. We'll see. Glad you caught the end, Petrus Lemon. Yeah, man. Cheers. No worries. Thank you guys, everyone, for attending. Thank you so much for all of the subs today. The gift subs, the biddies, everybody who resubscribed and subscribed and followed. Thank you so much for the support today. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll definitely be back doing much more of this. Like I said, I'm at home now until I got to go to Egypt again in February, and we'll be doing a bunch of work. We're going to get some videos out. Hey, Gunter Laws. Thank you so much for the prime, dude. It's good to be back.
Thank you very much, sir.
It's good to be back.
For a gentleman and a scholar.
Yes, but yeah, for sure. Like, I don't know if I'm working this, so I think I'll be streaming more than I normally do, just because if I'm working and I do intend to be doing a lot of work, I might as well be streaming for some of it. So we might even pick this up tomorrow with some more footage review. Get through this stuff. Get into this Chris Dunn episode. Get into the editing. Got a couple of video ideas I want to try and get out as soon as I can, and get cracking. You know, now that I'm back at home, I don't have to travel. I can focus on doing some work. But you guys have fun. Enjoy the start of your week, and we'll see you in the next one. If you want to know when I'm streaming, I typically communicate that on my Discord. If you want to join the Discord, it's !Discord, and you'll get a Discord invite here in the chat. So come and join us there. There's lots of good conversation happening all the time. I hope you all enjoyed that video. I'm trying to make these things a bit more of a regular upload to my second channel here, the Uncharted X Live channel. So please do consider subscribing to this channel. That really helps me out. Big thanks to Dub Selector for taking the time to edit these videos. Very much appreciate his help on this. Also, if you want to catch me live over on Twitch, I am streaming 2-3 times a week. I generally announce when I'm going to stream in my Discord. So if you want to join the Discord, take a look below in the comments. There'll be a link to the Discord. And if you like the work that I'm doing, please do consider supporting the channel through the value for value model. There's lots of ways that you can support the work that I'm doing. It's all outlined on my website. It's unchartedx.com/support. We'll catch you in the next one.